All right, everybody. Welcome to episode of Psycho's Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Sorry about that indeed. So, I hope everybody's having themselves a good Sunday night. I thought I'd go off and try to have I don't know, maybe an hour and a half broadcast. In case anybody noticed, I was on Doc Dacus's. He had a great episode earlier this afternoon. Doc's great. What can we say? Hey, yes, we've got the mixture. How you doing? Always good to see you, sir. You're pretty much most of the time the first one to chime in. I like that. That works out really well. So I wanted to mention simply that I apologize of not being able to attend to the Springfield, Missouri record show. There was several different complications that arose, uh, some family related stuff and such. So you know what? That's okay because as long as I'm alive and as long as everybody else is alive, there's chances for more record shows. I could have sworn I thought I heard that there's one coming in Tulsa in May. And if that's the case, hopefully maybe I'll be there. I haven't been to Tulsa in forever. Who knows? At least over there, I could be living on Tulsa time. Yeah, I know that was bad. I don't care. So let's see here. Uh, Before we get into, boy, did I get a lot of fines. A lot of fines. And I also want to bring up some announcements. But before we do that, new subs, guys. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you. If it wasn't for being on Rachel's show last week, and you know, we had some very good people. I'll tell you, very good people uh, join the show here. So, welcome to the Psycho Network. 10-minute record reviews, off the charts. Baron, Semi Charmed Life 311. That's all one word. Matthew Eisel, Isley, Eisele. Sorry. Heaven Strider. That's all one word. And Jeremy Rose. Everybody, thank you so much for joining up on the Psychos Platters Network. We try to make things entertaining and educational, if you will. I've been like this for 12 years now, and I've been like this almost all my life. So I want to say, out of all honesty, I want to thank the people that saw the newest episode of Jukebox from Hell, which is my sub series about albums that were either critically panned or the fans just really didn't like them when they first came out. We play musical detective, we review the albums, and that's how we give our little reviews here. We just got done doing episode 3, which is Ringo Starr's Old Wave. This is an original from 1983. I know that in 2022, it was on Record Store Day, but this here is an original capital RCA Victor. And to anybody that maybe didn't catch it, episode 4 will be the 1973 album from the Osmonds, The Plan. That's right. Signed, this is, by the way, Jay and Merrill and Wayne Osmond when I met him in 2009 or 2010, roughly. I have a picture with those three, actually, and my son, too. We all went and saw him in Branson, Missouri. We got some people coming in. Calvin, I was thinking about you the other day. I'm hoping that your situation has improved. I hope. Let me know in the comments. And David, it's always good to have David all the way from Wyoming, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The Waxed Wizard of Wyoming is David's Vinyl digs. See? Yeah, DVD. All right. So that is episode 3 and 4 of Jukebox from Hell coming up. So please, I don't know, watch them. Episode 2, Van Halen's 3 from 1998 is up along with the Beach Boys too. So we try to cover everything. That's how I feel about all this. So let's see. Let me do this. I hope everybody's having themselves a good Sunday. I really honestly do. We try around here. We try. Here's the Love Fest here. Final Gorilla, hi, how are you? I think you were on my last broadcast, right? I think so. Yes, thank you so much. Good evening to yourself. And that's right. Each and every time. You know, you'd think by now, not that I'm looking for scholarships, for sponsorships. You know, I haven't been really good in the noggin lately. Oh, good. Oh, I hope so. And then when you get your, your apartment, we're all gonna have a housewarming kegger. I That'd be fun. All right. Well, maybe it'd be fun. I'm not so sure. But yeah, you'd think I'd find some sponsorships from coffee companies. I had a couple nibbles, over the last few months, but none of them panned out or mugged out in this case. I have so many things to show here. I do. Some of them I showed in Doc Dacus's stream, but I have some vinyl that I picked up. Some for as low as $1. Some really reasonable things, I think. And then some of the other stuff I picked up at an antique mall at reasonable prices. So let's see. Let's start out 1958 on Cadence Records. A little jazz. Don Shirley with solos. That's right. Here's the front. Here's the back. And of course, anybody that remembers, that's ever seen an Everly Brothers record, what the Cadence label looks like. I love that label, actually. It's a really nice one. I've only got one Everly Brothers album on Cadence that I found originally, but that was $1. Here's the other thing that I found for $1. From 1975, I know Lori Records put out these. They put out series for different ones, but this is your Lori limited edition series. Everything you wanted, always wanted to hear by the Chiffons. And still in shrink too, by the way, with quick little side notes from Norm and Nite, who was a popular DJ of the 70s. And this, I'll show you the label here. It's in an A&M Records inner sleeve. Sometimes I like looking at these. Too bad it wasn't a Lori. But you got it looking like this. Okay, nice and minty. Nice and minty. I bet you George Harrison didn't have this in his record collection. See what I did there? I know, I'm horrible. I'm horrible, but I'm just teasing. I love the Chiffons and I love George too. This tune isn't a bright one. Oh, good. Yes. Yeah. Like I said, the ones that I pretty much found on Cadence was either Everly's or Cordettes. I think even Link Ray was on that label at one point or another. That's right. Then I ended up finding, like I said, this came out to like $4 in tax for each of these. Okay, so I found the 45 a long time ago. That's right. Andy Williams was on Cadence also. That's right, David. So I ended up finding this 12-inch single from 1980, 85, 86. Paul McCartney, Spies Like Us, and the Party Mix, and My Carnival, which was a Venus and Mars outtake. So on Capitol Records. Yes, yes, yes. Not too shabby. I like finding the 12-inch singles too. Yep. Yeah, I know I've only ever found maybe A45. That's about it. These next ones. All right. So this white label promo, 1971, from a band called Stone Ground. Yes. Here's the front. Here's the back. As you could see, a little bit of ring wear on the back here. Not so much on the front, actually. And that lovely white label. Yes, it's about near minty, I would say. Does anybody know what member of a 60s band formed Stone Ground in 19? Well, this album came out in 71. They could have formed the band sooner. But do you know anyone? Bueller, anyone who was in Stone Ground? This would be the only album, if I remember correctly, that came out on Warner Brothers. Who said, I like doing this even if nobody says it, who said Sal Valentino from the Beau Brummels? Yeah, from the Beau Brummels Stones. Sal Valentino headed this band of Stone Ground. So you got a Beau Brummel offshoot. Not too shabby. Now, this next one, I've heard little things. I didn't get a chance to research this very much. But on reprise, Sweetwater. Okay, as you could see, got ring wear, but you know what? The condition on this thing is pretty nice, actually. I'll show you here. See, not too shabby. But Sweetwater, I'm trying to see here if there's anybody recognizable. No, not really. But so the thing is about Sweetwater is, do you remember a movie called Almost Famous? You know, the Cameron Crowe movie, right? Supposedly they went and took this band. The band was based on them, supposedly. And then, of course, they added extra things into it. But these guys played at Woodstock, if I remember correctly. And I don't know, they didn't last very long. I want to say either this is the only album they ever put out, or they might have made one more, and that was it. But I just thought it's really funny, and I'll tell you, I'll read here what it says in my radio disc jockey voice. Sweetwater, 8 high-octane musicians who met and jammed in the great peanut butter octopus that is Los Angeles. And now move mountains with the bright amalgamation. Yeah, I said amalgamation. What a long Scrabble word that be. Of classical and folk, jazz and rock. That is their own persuasion. Sweetwater. Anyways, so like I said, they came out to about maybe with tax $4 a piece on those three. Not too shabby, if I say so myself. David says, I read about them being at Woodstock too. They didn't make the documentary movie. There's a lot of things that did not make in that Woodstock first movie. And did they not make a Woodstock 2 a year or two later? Or am I wrong on this? Because I know they had the extended cuts and everything when your DVDs came out. You know what? Thank you, because it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since I found anything, really. At least a few weeks. Yeah, a few weeks, I'd say. But that's the vinyl. So let's go to CD, shall we? So with the CDs, there wasn't really anything earth-shattering. It's just that I ended up, some I paid as low as 50 cents on this stuff. 50. Actually, I think all of these were 50 cents. That's right. So Jimmy Buffett, I don't know. You could give or take on Jimmy Buffett, right? But at least you know what you're getting out of it. This one here, Life on the Flip Side. This came out in 2020 on Mailboat Records, his own label. It also has a interesting little lyric booklet that came with it. Let's see if there's anything I could show you. I don't know. Here's a nice pic. But good old Buffett, you know where you're pretty much at when it comes to Jimmy Buffett entertaining his parrot heads and all the other stuff, if you will. So Jimmy Buffett, let's see. This one here I've never seen before. It says, "You're the inspiration," the Peter Cetera collection. All right, Peter Cetera collection. This one here has a promo hole. It pretty much, you've got the duets that he did. There's the one with Amy Grant, the one with the Shaka Khan, and I cannot read this. But he ends up, it says here, 5 new tracks, right? But here's the thing. The 5 new tracks are different versions, so in other words, he re-recorded Chicago. If You Leave Me Now, You're the Inspiration, Baby What a Big Surprise, and a couple others here. Let's see. When did this come out? 97 on River North. Okay. Yeah, River North, if I remember correctly, was the last label he was on, too. I don't know. I could have sworn I thought I heard that he retired. But then somebody told me that he is on a bill at a concert in Australia. So maybe he's still going. I do not know. I know he wanted to retire. I mean, let's face it, he's been going since 1967. I think it would be pretty nice, to be honest with you, is if Peter would make occasional appearances with Chicago Transit Authority, Danny Seraphine's outfit, because sometimes Danny will go off and have Jeff Coffey. He's had him. He's had Donnie Dacus, who was on Chicago 14 and 15. Bill Champlain. I mean, they've all been guests on Chicago Transit Authority. Also, one of my favorite, I do like Christian rock. Not the new stuff, though, nowadays, all right? I don't know what it is. I can't stand it. I've listened to things like Mercy Me, and there's a handful of other ones. It just doesn't make me, it just doesn't touch me. You see what I'm saying? Music's got to touch me. That didn't sound right, but I know where I'm going on this. So I managed to find a couple CDs from old school Petra, but we're talking John Schlitt era Petra, okay? Because you got the Greg X Volts Petra, which is your 1975 to 1987. You're right. You know what? I love those Creed albums. I do. The only one, what is it? The one where they reunited, because they've made 4 albums with Scott. And I haven't heard that one. I love the other 3. I've got the other 3 somewhere. And then also Petra's No Doubt. Now, classic Petra is what they're calling it. It's John Schlitt and Bob Hartman. Bob Hartman, of course, has been in every lineup for Petra. And they're going out on the road. They're probably in the middle of a tour right now, actually. I like both versions. Greg X Volts, most people don't know this, but he was the other singer in the running in 1976 for REO Speedwagon, actually. And he turned it down, and Kevin Cronin came back. Could you imagine Greg's version of REO? Who knows? Maybe they wouldn't have gotten all the hits they got. I don't know. But the point of the matter is, though, Neil Dougherty, the last original member, retired, at least from the road. I think he's still a member if they ever do any, recordings. Don't hold your breath, because like the last thing they did was the Christmas album, which was so-so. Most Christmas albums are so-so. There's not anything fantastic or earth-shattering, mind you. Although I did certainly like Twisted Sister's Christmas album. That cracked me up in parts. All right, so I got books. How about that? We'll go to books for a minute. I appreciate everybody that's here. I really, really do. We found bunches and bunches and bunches of books. And let's see, what do we start off with? I don't know if anybody remembers a writer. He also was a comedian named Tucker Max. There was a movie called I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. I don't know if you guys remember that movie. It actually is kind of funny. I saw it years ago. This one here, the signed edition. So I've got that. And I didn't know they needed a sequel called A-Holes Finish First. That's right. Oh boy. I cannot wait to read these. Excuse me. I thought I had enough sleep. Guess not. Well, yeah, Gene Autry did do good Christmas albums. I'm talking about what I really am saying, I guess, is, I don't know, the last 20, 30 years, there hasn't been really any good Christmas albums that much. Okay. If you like Graham Parsons, you might get this. The Ballad of Graham Parsons and His Cosmic American Music. 50 cents I only paid for this. 20,000 Roads is the name of this. Let's see. Looks like it's been a little bit. Do we have any pictures to show? All right. Here's Graham at Altamont. Graham Parsons at Altamont. There you go. Also, one of my favorite Van Halen books from Noel E. Monk, the tour manager. He also kind of got started with the Sex Pistols brief tour in 78. Running with the Devil. Yes. I read this a long time ago, but to have it in soft cover, there was something that I did not care for. Oh, no kidding. That's interesting. I almost would like to hear some things about that. Yeah, I'm curious about that Graham one myself. 6 Days on the Road. That's right. That's right. I read that. The library got a copy of it. I think I found that one shortly after I found this. But and Noel, of course, unfortunately passed away within the last few months, which is too bad because I bet you he knows a lot of stuff. But this is where you get to hear an interesting event that I didn't even know happened, that at that time really kind of showed the douchery Van Halen had on Mike Anthony. I'm not even going to tell you. You can read it for yourself. It was horrible. Let's see. Can I find you? How about, I don't know, Backstage 1978? Yes, that was of course, for, I'm guessing opening for Sabbath at that time. Let's see. Got any other ones? Oh, God, that's funny. All right. I guess they did a Halloween show and dressed up. Look who's coming in. I don't know how long you've been waiting there, sir. Hopefully not long. I'm trying to get you in here. Sorry.
Oh, hey, Paul.
There we go. Look at you. Hooray.
I just thought I'd come up and say hi for a bit.
Well, look at you. How nice and lovely that is. What I didn't care for about Van Halen, almost everything. Oh.
Cool.
Calvin, come on. All right, how about this, though? She was simply the best, better than all the rest. And boy, did she have a great pair of legs.
Yeah.
Tina from Tina Turner. Nutbush City Limits. Nutbush. I said Nutbush. Anyways, Oh, here's one. We've got Tina and Elton.
Cool.
Yes. It was his birthday, I think, yesterday, if I remember correctly. Yes. And then lastly, let's see here. I'll show these last two, and then I'll make myself small again. Like Steve Martin, get small.
Yeah.
So so I found these still sealed for $1 a piece. Couldn't screw that up. 5 DVD collector set best of Cher. Now, before you go, oh my God, I didn't know she had that many music videos. That wasn't what this is. These are Time Life collections.
TV shows, I think.
Yes. And so after the Sonny and Cher show broke up in late 74, in February 1975 on CBS, she started a new show. This is 10 episodes from the Cher show, and you get guest appearances by Ray Charles, Charo. Remember Charo? Coochie coochie. I always thought Charo was hot. She still is. I've seen recent video. Elton John, Mr. Rocket Man. The Muppets. The friggin' Muppets. Did we really ask for that? No. Linda Ronstadt, Raquel Welch, and more. That's right. Along with rare clips, early TV appearances on the Dick Cavett Show and Dinah. Remember Dinah Shore? She had her own little morning show. Oh boy. And then exclusive new interviews with Bob Mackie, the designer for all of Cher's gowns. Here's a sketch that Bob Mackie drew back then. And you're going to flip for this one. The devil did not make me buy this. The best of the Flip Wilson show, 6 DVDs. In the words of Geraldine. I'm gonna get you, honey.
The devil made me buy this dress or something.
The devil made me do it.
The devil made me do it.
He's one of the few that look good in a dress. Anyways, so you get Volume 1, which includes the best episodes from seasons 1 and 2, featuring guest stars Muhammad Ali, Louis Armstrong, James Brown, Tim Conway, Sammy Davis Jr., man, Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin, the Muppets, those fucking Muppets, Lily Tomlin, and many more, plus a rare 1976 interview with the star himself. That's right.
That show was on when I was like 1 year old or something, back in 1970 or something.
And I'm glad Tim Allen went and corrected me. Yes, 1972, you get, and I hope it's on these discs, Paul McCartney and Wings doing the Mary Had a Little Lamb video.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So you get Beatles stuff. How you doing? Did you find anything recent? I saw your NSYNC.
Oh, yeah. I just actually showed, I got these in the past month.
Oh, hang on a minute. Let me make you big.
Okay.
Look at that.
It's
a reissue?
Well, yeah. As you know, this came out in 1991 originally, Paul.
Yep.
This is a 2022 reissue that Walmart had.
Nice. I'm trying to think, David. Did they ever? Okay, so you're talking 91. Now, I know that Geffen put out 45s, but did they put out albums in the U.S. in 91? I don't know if there would have. That would have been funny if there was legit Use Your Illusion. I just don't remember that. The stores I bought those from at midnight, I didn't have enough money. David, did you get them first day that they came out in 91? Were you a big GNR fan?
That's when I was buying, remember the pre-recorded cassette tapes?
Yep.
I had these on a cassette tape back then.
Me too. Yes, I wasn't in vinyl by that time, but look at you. You got both volumes.
Yeah.
Yes. Are they straight vinyl or are they colored?
They're black vinyl, so no need to show
Okay,
them.
I'll tell you.
I'm
Lots of
glad
good stuff between the
I'm
two.
glad they reissued them on vinyl anyway.
What's that? Go get.
I'm glad they put them out back on vinyl.
Yeah, yeah, you're telling me. Now, oh, look at you. Natalie Cole. She's been gone a few years
Yeah.
now, but she was unforgettable. Ah, you
Craft.
saved the shrinks.
You heard of Craft Records
Yes,
recording?
yes. Decent company.
Is is it supposed to be an audiophile
Unforgettable.
label?
Okay.
Is it supposed to
Awesome,
be, or do you
awesome,
know?
awesome. Huh?
Is it supposed to be an audiophile label? Have you heard?
I'm
So
not. Oh, is it? Because I mean, I've heard of them. I just never did any research on craft.
I heard someone say on the internet it might be.
Gotcha. Do you have any other goodies?
Mm, well, I have two. I can show you a few jazz albums, but I don't know if you'd really want to see them or not.
Well, come on. Let's take a look. See, you're up here. It's this is your time, sir. We love, you know. I don't know about you guys out there, but I dabble in the jazz. I'm not a huge jazz fan, but I like it at
I am.
times.
These I got at a thrift shop in
Oh,
Lander,
sure.
Wyoming. Les
Look
Brown.
at you, Les Brown and the Band of Renown.
Yep,
Yeah,
pretty good album.
yeah. There you go.
It's Capitol Records. I don't stereo.
Yeah,
Late
sure.
50s, late 50s or something.
Nice.
It's hard.
Thanks, Tony. Good to see you here. Ah, yes, Duke Ellington.
Ellington. This is a
Sweet.
1967 LP.
Sure.
He's a pretty good musician. A lot of brass and horns on here.
Mm-hmm. I dabbled in the Duke.
1950. Larry Elgar's orchestra.
Oh, sure. Okay.
There was two.
Nice.
He's a band leader and plays. I don't forget what instrument he plays.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself.
Brass instrument. I'm sure.
He almost looks like one of my uncles.
This album's from '59.
Wow.
Let me see. Ever heard of Billy
May's
May?
Big Fat Brass. Huh. You got me on that one. I never heard of Billy May.
He was a band leader and he backed Frank Sinatra on a few albums.
Oh, no kidding.
This is Capitol Record stereo, 58 or 59, I guess, approximately.
Nice.
I like that type of music. Bet you never heard of these two. Sacher Finnegan Orchestra.
Oh, okay. I never heard of them either.
Another big band type jazz.
Lockhead says, I have a hard time with albums that are completely instrumental. The couple jazz records I just use for background music when I'm working on a model or something.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got to have some ambiance. Oh, yes. Audio ambiance.
Sarah Vaughan.
Ah, yes. I like Sarah. I do like Sarah.
This is
She's
from
got
like
a nice voice.
mid-60s, approximately. She does cover versions of Beatles Yesterday, Priscilla Clark's Another Place. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Make this out or not.
Well, a little bit. I heard that Yesterday is one of the most covered songs in pop music history. I don't know. Last time I checked, there was over 400 versions. I don't think I'd want to listen to all 400 versions,
Yeah.
but it'd be interesting to hear her take on things. Well, Calvin, I'm an idiot because I don't know who Billy May is. Sorry, I'll admit it. I can't know everybody, for God's sakes. I, you know, I'm not a Mr. Know-It-All. I never professed to be. I've heard, I actually, you know, Dave, I know a lot of band names and solo artists. I know of the names. I just don't sometimes know of the music. It's just, I haven't, there's only 24 hours in a day, you know.
Yeah.
You can't explore everything. Even you know, I have to like, I don't know about you guys out there in the BC, but I try
I'm just a big jazz
once
fan.
or twice a week. Once or twice a week. That's about it. I try to squirrel away enough time to listen to an album. And that it may be two if I'm lucky, you know, per day. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah.
I figured out how to keep YouTube open and mute it finally.
Oh, good. That's good. So how's everything else going?
Your voice is lagging a little behind your speech.
Oh, that happens once in a while. So I said, how's it going?
Yeah, I heard you. We're getting spring's finally coming here. It's been a long, cold winter.
Yeah, your winter was brutal, just like my mom's up in Chicagoland. She said she said some snow came down yesterday and today actually, but it's not really sticking. So I'm like, well, good, you know. But that's Chicago for you. It's like if it for up there, it's at least April 1st. If you get past April 1st, you're probably in the clear. Down here, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Excuse me.
So, yeah, I think we're done. I mean, even though we're going to have a couple cold nights, but like not below freezing or nothing. But yeah, I think we're done down here with the winter. Yay. That's what I say about it.
What's your temperature in northern Arkansas today? Hi.
We almost touched 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
We almost touched 40 today.
Let's see. Before I forget,
it's nice.
Happy 79th birthday to Diana Ross. Diana Ross is 79. Really? You know, well, the last supreme standing, if you will.
Is it Mary Wilson? I thought she was still alive.
Nope, she's gone too. She died. I want to say 2021.
It's hard to keep
I could be wrong on that. I'm pulling it up real quick here. But yeah, it's like 2021, I think. I have her autograph. I gave a paperback Dreamgirls. Like Mary came out to Branson and did a handful of shows at the Dick Clark American Bandstand Theater. That's how, yeah. And so, yeah, February 2021.
Oh yeah, you're pretty close to Branson.
Yeah. So the thing is that I ended up finding 6 months ago. 6 months ago? Yeah, 6 months ago. And the book came out in either 2019 or 2020. And it was, I normally don't keep books like this, but it was a better signed copy. It was the Supremes in all of the outfits they were in. Like there was a forward by Bob Mackey, who I just brought up with Cher. And I'm like, he was just big in all that stuff from the 50s to the 80s. You know, he was the big gown maker and everything. But Mary signed that book because she was the one that was involved in the book. She co-authored it. So I've got that. I paid $4. Found that at a resale shop that I normally frequent. And I'm like, I kept saying to myself, God, this would be funny if it was set. And I'm like, sure enough, beautiful autograph. I'm like,
Cool.
Oh, I'm keeping you and giving my Dream Girl paperback sign to a buddy of mine. So
Cool.
I do that from time to time. Share the wealth, I say.
Yeah. Oh, did
Oh,
he?
Billy May did music for the Green Hornet. I thought that was Al Hurt. Am I wrong? I don't, because I have a okay, like I've been looking for that Green Hornet album for years, and I found it for like $2, mint condition, and it shows Green Hornet and Al Hurt together, and it's the theme of the Green Hornet and all that other stuff. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. And like I said, it was Elton's birthday this week. Also, if I remember correctly, it's Steven Tyler's birthday today too.
Well,
So maybe he can walk this way to his big birthday cake.
yeah. Hey, Paul,
I don't know.
I'm sure Calvin's right. I think Al Hurt maybe just did a album with the title Green Hornet on the cover or something.
Oh, well, I do. You guys are the jazz people. I'm really not. I just dabble in it from time to time.
Yeah.
That's not really my forte.
like rock
the
music
first
too.
jazz person that I mean, I knew who Miles Davis was, okay, and I did find some 60s Miles back when I lived up in Illinois. I had a quad copy of Bitches Brew. I
Cool.
found that. Yep, in a library book sale under the table in a box, and I'm going quad. I'm going, oh, Buck, you say? Oh, yeah. I spun that thing and I sold it for like 25 back then. And I'm just like, I needed the money. I played it. It was nice, but I'm like, here.
Those quadraphonic albums sound cool on 2-speaker systems, I think.
Yep.
I have one.
I don't know how they do it exactly for the stereo. I mean, obviously quadraphonic is supposed to be meant for being able to play with the 4 speakers.
Yeah.
But is it cut differently? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's cut differently or something, and I don't know, but I don't know about you, but the only quads I come up with, at least as of the last couple of years, have all been easy listening stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for many, many years, for example, I was proud to say that my record collection was Streisand free, that no talent hack. Anywho, I found in a suitcase at an estate sale a quad copy of Barbara's Stony End.
Oh, cool.
Well, my friend Tim Smith from Thrifty Tim's music channel here on YouTube, I gifted it to him because I couldn't take the Streisand in the collection was bothering me. It was like a boil that needed to be lanced by a record needle. That was disgusting, wasn't it? But you know what, Blockhead? I'm gonna have to go sell another box too. Probably Tuesday. You know what? That would be wonderful sounding. If I remember correctly, though, that was. Tell me in the comments, Jeff, or anybody. There wasn't a U.S. quad, but if I remember correctly, there was a UK quad. Vinyl and 8-track. I think. I could be totally wrong on that. And just to jump on Beatles solo stuff for a second, I am led to believe Apple did some quad 8 tracks for the UK. John Lennon's Imagine. I think it's either Red Rose Speedway or Band on the Run was quad. I want to say Ringo's Ringo was quad. And then I want to say Living in the Material World for George was quad. I could be totally wrong on this, but I would, of course I'll never find those. I don't normally go seeking out for 8 tracks anyway, although saying that,
8 tracks.
If I do find quad 8 tracks, all right, and they're rock or whatever, and they're in decent shape, of course I'm going to grab them because there's a market for that. But I used to collect Beatles, Kiss. For some reason, having Kiss on 8-track was like totally cool, at least in the looks to me. But I don't know. I don't know how far I would go. Calvin says, Hurt played on the green. I'm sorry?
I'm glad 8 tracks aren't around anymore.
I just remember when in the middle of the thing it'd go click, click, and that'd be the end of that. Hurt played on the Green Hornet version of Flight of the Bumblebee, but May composed it. May wrote music that. Okay, well, see, like I said, I didn't know, and if I remember correctly, Green Hornet was around 1 season. I wish it was more.
8 tracks.
Do you have any track? Huh?
I'm sorry to interrupt. 8 tracks also did that same. I've heard some 8 tracks. The song faded away. Then remember that?
Yep.
He cut the song off and it faded in or something. I hated that.
Yeah. I don't have an 8-track collection, Blockhead, but there's certain ones, like I said, that I personally would look for. Ringo's Ringo on 8-track is a special collectability because it's got an extended mix of the song 6 O'Clock that you could only get on 8-track or the promo copies of Ringo's Ringo. That's it. It's an extra 2 minutes. And also some of the Mike Nesmith RCA albums were put out in quad, and I would love to find those. I don't have an 8-track tape player, but I mean, and of course, some of those, like the Monkees ones on Cold Gems, are real hard to find on 8-track. But to my knowledge, every Monkees album exists on 8 tracks on Cold Gem Records. And I'm like, I would love to find a complete set of 9 albums, 8-track wise. Yep, that's pretty much it.
I think 8 tracks were introduced in the late 60s, correct, Paul?
Yep.
Okay.
You are correct. The last mass-produced, so retail, was December 83. They cut it off for the retail, okay?
Was it 83?
So what they ended up doing was 84 to 88, you had to belong to a record club. And the last mass-produced U.S. pre-recorded 8-track was Fleetwood Mac's Greatest Hits, November 1988.
Really? I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know a friend who had Appetite for Destruction on 8-track.
Oh, cool.
I saw it. I had it in my hands. He didn't want to sell it because I just thought it was amusing. And George Harrison's Cloud 9 is really kind of hard to find on 8-track also, but it exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of GNR, I have, let's see, of course I've got the Appetite. I wish I had an original Appetite. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they put that on the inside. The one I have has a skull and crossbones cover.
And I have an original Lies, Lies, Lies.
I don't have the. I like to find the
Lies. I picked that up 10 years ago.
Cool.
Roughly. Yeah. But yeah, so all kinds of fun. Are you going to? My financing is probably not going to be able to do this, but is there anything that floated your boat on Record Store Day?
Unfortunately,
no.
Unfortunately, I don't have a record store. I'd have to drive 120 miles to Casper for a Record Store Day.
Oh my. Casper, Wyoming. My uncle lived there for decades in Casper, Wyoming.
The town I live in, we used to have an independent record store that did a Record Store Day for like 3 years in a row. They closed. Chet Baker maybe is the only one that I've seen on the Rick Story list.
Eric Carr for me. The solo Rockology. That's the only one I want. And I think that's on Kraft, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Double album.
Cool.
So this has five unreleased demos is in this mix. Double vinyl. So I know that thing's going to cost probably $40-$45 maybe. I'm like, ouch. But I can live without it.
I didn't know Eric Carr did any soul stuff besides Kiss.
Well, see, here's the funny part. So even though he was drummer of Kiss from 80 to 91, he started working on things. Well, I heard as far back as Crazy Nights, the 87 album. Yeah. But there is a really cool song that he wrote called Eyes of Love, which he demoed. It was him and Bruce Kulick, all right, demoed for Hot in the Shade because Eric thought, hey, this would be great. And Gene and Paul shot that down very fast. I'm like, it would have made the record better, to be honest with you, but whatever. Yep. So I still remember, I think personally Eric sounded like a really nice guy. I would have loved to have met him. But from what I heard after, what was it? Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, which was that Greatest Hits in 88. Yeah, they did 3 songs. They did Put the X in Sex, Rock Hard, and Lord knows why, a new version of Beth with Eric Carr singing it. Eric felt so bad about that. He was kind of half forced to do it. He met Peter Criss like on the street, like within months after that record came out. And he went up to Peter and he said, look, I'm sorry. I apologize. And he was like so upset. And Peter was like, relax. It's okay. I know who you're dealing with. That's what he said. He goes, I know who you're dealing with. Remember? I had to deal with them. But supposedly, yeah, it's supposedly like on and off for the last year or two of Carr's life. Once in a while, they'd phone tag him and Ace. Go figure. Peter and Ace really did like Eric Carr. So, you don't want the Haircut 100 live album. I thought they were great for the short time they existed. So on that Haircut 100 live album, Calvin, is it Love Plus One tracked 12 times from 12 different shows? Oh, see what I did there? Here we are, Love Plus One. See, most people forget that band. I wish I did. Oh,
yeah, I remember him.
I think I'm half kidding. I think. I could be wrong on that too, though. Did they make 2 records, Calvin? Let me know in the comments.
Well, Haircut 100 made 1 album for they only had 1 album for UK and the United States, as far as I know.
Nick Hayward, if I remember correctly, was the poster boy they were grooming for after that.
Nick Hayward did a solo album.
Oh God, are you preaching to the choir, Vinyl Gorilla? That Halloween 1979 Tom Snyder interview. I love Ace. No, I'm a plumber, and I like they're so wasted. I love it. The whole damn thing, and I love the scowls on Gene and Paul's face, and Ace and Peter pretty much are running the whole fucking thing. That's great.
I never seen that.
I love it. Ace is my favorite member of Kiss. I don't care what anybody says. I would probably say Ace, then Gene, then Paul, then Peter.
Chris,
yeah. But then again, jumping from that for 2 seconds to the Vinnie Vincent news that came out this week. Oh boy. So I'll believe it when I see it. See, you're actually there you go. But Vinny supposedly, ha ha ha, is talking about releasing this year Guitarmageddon. I think that's what it's called. And I'm going, oh boy. Now, I liked Creatures of the Night. I love that album. They returned to form in 1982 after the whole Dynasty Unmasked Elder debacle, which I like Elder. I only like Dynasty, some, and Unmasked, only the Ace songs. That's the only ones I like. And so when Creatures came back out, I'm like, hell yeah, they're back. And then, Lick It Up's got some good tracks too. And I like the first Vinnie Vincent album. The second one, not so much, which of course is Slaughter, except for Vinnie. And then, excuse me. And then he co-wrote some tracks for the Revenge album, which I thought was actually an excellent, underrated album from Kiss from 92 with Eric Singer now on board. But yeah, so Vinnie Vincent, ha ha ha. I'm guessing archival stuff, new archival stuff coming out this year. Yeah, I don't know. I can handle so much speed, thrash, metal-ish. I can only handle so much. If I'm going to hear that, I'd rather hear Marty Friedman or Chris Impellitteri or Yngwie or stuff like that. I'm just saying. Vinny is kind of way down on the list for me on that stuff. That's just my opinion.
A lot of those Kiss albums you mentioned, actually, I've never heard all the way through. I don't have.
Oh, well, some are better than others.
Yeah.
I know, right? It wasn't bad at all. And the one that I'm trying to wrap my head around, which, okay, fine. I'll let a little bit of the cat out of the bag. It's going to happen down the line, just not right away. It will be an episode of Jukebox from Hell, Carnival of Souls from 96. There was a lot of confusion going on around that album, and Kiss attempted to be alternative.
Did they?
We'll just say that. Kiss tried to be alternative. They tried to have the Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, STP vibe.
Oh, really? I never heard that album.
Yeah, Carnival of Souls. I'll just say this. It goes back to like late 94 is when they started recording that. So 94, 95 was the gist of it. And towards the end of the record, that's when Gene and Paul said, but at least they told them. They're like, look, we're getting the original band back together again. And they kind of knew it was coming, Bruce and Eric. And so they were like, Eric was like excited, I guess, as all get out for those four to be back. Bruce was quasi friends with Ace, so that really wasn't a problem either. But they knew they were going to be out of a job, see, and that's why I think they formed Union with John Corabi from Motley right after he got let go. We're talking like 96, 97. So yeah, after Corabi got let go, they had Union, which some of that's finally getting reissued. Yes, too, but Hayward had issues and was not in the band for the second. My favorite song from them was Favorite Shirts, Boy Meets Girl.
Yeah,
I'll have to listen to that. I'll have to listen to that because I don't remember that.
I do.
Here we are, love plus one. I don't know. I love 80s music. There were so many bands back then, and it was really hard to keep up with all of them. They really, really was. I don't know about you, but when MTV came out, like I said, I used to have a notebook right next to the TV. I'm like, I like this song. Write it down just for future use, like, hey, I think I'll get this album or
Yeah, I used to watch
you
MTV
know,
a lot.
huh?
I used to watch MTV a lot, yeah, for the music
Yeah.
videos.
In my opinion,
They're
81
downhill
to
today.
87 was the best years. 81 to 87. And then after that, now the exception to that, Headbangers Ball. Oh, loved Headbangers Ball.
Sort of remember that.
Yeah. And then 120 Minutes was okay. That was more alternative in the 90s.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. But after that, I stopped watching. Seriously, I stopped watching MTV probably by mid 90s. I was like, not interested.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Do you remember Casey Kasem's American Top 40 radio show? Or did you ever listen to that?
I'm Casey Kasem. And here's the top 40 request. Here's a dedication. I remember that outtake. Why am I doing a dedication for a dead dog? Why do I gotta do this? I love that whole thing. It's like, no, I don't want to do this.
I used to listen to his show every weekend, really.
Yep. Oh yeah. This here at number 38
So like the
is
top
the
40
new
hits.
single from P.U. Pitchloaf.
Well, they never heard of them.
Can You Spare a Square?
You made that up.
The infamous P.U. Pitchloaf. You've never heard of P.U. Pitchloaf, David?
No.
They started out in 1969. It was 5 English musicians that happened to be plumbers. They were all trapped in Germany at a plumbing convention due to visa problems. They were stuck there for 3 years, and they created some of the strangest prog rock that you will have ever heard. But most of the album titles are toilet humor. Can You Spare a Square? Royal Flush. Number 2. That was that's what confused people, because it said number 2, but it was their first album. All that. Yeah. The Plunge. Taking the Plunge. I mean, Downtown Brown. Really weird stuff. But it'll grow on you.
Sounds like it.
Calvin says a reissue of the Tom Tom Club album that had Genius of Love as an RSD release. Fleetwood Mac's Albatross single is also, Fleetwood Mac, I love just about all the lineups, okay? But the late 60s to 1974 does not get enough love, in my opinion. And Tom Tom Club, that's pretty cool.
Spin off of the Talking Heads.
I didn't buy much of their stuff. I liked Remain in Light.
Oh yeah.
Because of Once in a Lifetime. That is like my favorite Talking Heads song.
I have that album.
Yeah. Remain in Light I like.
Good stuff.
I also like Psycho Killer. Da, 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 da. I mean, I'd say probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 songs I like of theirs. Other than that, the rest is, And I know who Tom Tom Club is. That's half of Talking Heads. It's just I don't know the material.
Tina Weymouth and Chris Franz were in Tom Tom Club, I think.
Good old Zappa face. Give me your dirty love. Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me.
What was it? I ended up, this is going, geez, let me think about this a minute. Wow, this goes kind of way back, about 10 years ago now. So one of my coworkers, who unfortunately passed away, I only found out about this a few weeks ago. She passed away late last year. But her husband, who was a very big record collector, passed away early 2010s. So she found out that I was a record collector.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave me first crack at looking at all of, we're talking, I'm not kidding you, probably 500-600 albums.
Wow. Cool.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, she knows. I go, we both work for Walmart. I'm not a rich person. I'm fair, but how much do you want? How much do you want? She's like, $1 an album. I'm going, and I'm thinking in the back of my skull, I'm like, not because $1 was too much. It was because I kept finding all of this good stuff. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, all right. And the nice thing about it is she, I paid. I got 3 trips to the well, I call it. 3 trips to the well.
Yeah.
And I got every Zappa he had. He had from Freak Out all the way to Shake Your Booty. He had all of them. And I'm just like, I'm not kidding. I think almost all the mothers. The only one he didn't have was Uncle Meat. I remember that for some reason because my friend Donna Joe Cat Lady, who's here on YouTube, she's a huge Zappa fan. And we ended up having to find, I can't remember if it was Zappa's estate was reissuing it, but she was happy when she found that. But yeah, so I said, okay, fine. I will listen to every Zappa. And when I'm done with it, I'll give it to you. So she's got a near complete run from Freak Out all the way to about One Size Fits All, because I kept Apostrophe, because I like Apostrophe, and I like Overnight Sensation. Those 2 I'm keeping out of the Zappa catalog. And I got a copy of Chic also. But that's about it. I don't have much Zappa. That's just it. Let's see. Calvin Wilco has a reimagined version of Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. See, that makes me nervous. I know U2's trying that game. I'm not a big fan of reimagined stuff. I'm just not. But, there was going to be some Wilco fans that might like it. There just might be.
That's another. I don't know Wilco very well either. I hate to say it.
No, I'm not. I don't really know a lot about him either.
Really?
Jeff Tweedy and Company. That's what I know. And Wilco, if I remember correctly, was Chicagoland based. Was Wilco?
That's probably correct. Yeah.
I do actually collect a lot of Chicago area bands. That's my thing. I've got stuff from the 60s to the early 80s that was either major label stuff or private press stuff that I found over the years.
Including the group Chicago? Including the group Chicago?
Including the group Chicago. Right. Hey, listen, those first 4 to 5 albums are the best things that they ever did. Terry Kath was something else. I mean, even Hendrix went off and he's like, Hendrix knew a thing or two. But some of the ones that he said before he died, he's like, how's it feel to be the greatest? I'm not the greatest guitarist. He goes, check out Terry Kath. He's in a band called Chicago Transit Authority. Or I remember that Tonight Show clip. So who's your favorite? There's a guy by the name of Billy Gibbons. He's in a band called Moving Sidewalks. And I'm just like, he kept his ear to everything. He knew good music. He did. And you know what? I don't like everything Hendrix did. But Hendrix was innovative and he was groundbreaking in his genre. That is all there is to it.
I got 3 Jimi Hendrix albums.
Yes.
Yes, I like him. Ooh.
What's that? You said 3 Jimi Hendrix albums.
I do. I have 3 Jimi Hendrix albums. Yes.
Yeah, see, and I love that stuff.
Be right back.
Okay. Anyways, everybody. I hope everybody's doing fine. I appreciate the 9 people here, guys. 9 people. We think we had it up to a dozen. I'm not sure exactly who's on tonight besides me. Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Now, is that original or a reish?
It's original from '67. Yeah.
Hang on a second. I would like you to. Oh, there you. Oh, a Steamboat label. Oh, the tricolor Steamboat.
Yeah.
That stereo. Okay. Oh, that's
Stereo.
nice. How does it sound? Nice condition.
It is nice condition. Except, unfortunately, one track has a deep. There's one scratch on it, but the rest of it sounds okay.
Sweet.
No.
Nice. I would love to find some mono presses. Love that one and Axis. Ah, look at you. Is that a Steamboat also? I can't remember.
This plays a lot better. I found this.
Oh, look at you. Nice. Yeah, I don't have any Steamboat Hendrix. I have the second issue stuff. Yeah.
And well.
Yep. Nice.
Electric Ladyland.
Now let's see the label on that.
Now this is I'm sure it's. I don't think this was put out on a Steamboat label. Oops.
You might be right. I'm trying to remember.
They changed their design. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. My head's hurting right now. Very nice. Yeah, I love that stuff. That stuff is always. Yes.
Really see inside.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's good. I like that psychedelic music from late '62. Sorry.
I'm trying to think. I know Dave Mason's on that. I could have sworn.
Dave Mason.
Is it Brian Jones does something backing on a Hendrix track? I could have sworn I remember reading that a long time ago. I could be wrong on that. Like just some background stuff. Hey, entertain the troops for a minute while I go get some more coffee. It's your solo shot.
Well, I'm not much. Well, I'm just going to sit here looking like a deer in the headlights, people.
That's right, Jeff.
Coffee.
Each and every time. I don't know. You know, that might be what's keeping me alive longer, Dave and Jeff, is this coffee. I've been drinking it for 40 years. 40 plus years. Yeah, unfortunately, tax time's coming for me. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to pay them, to be honest. I don't really understand what happened. I think they messed around with the tax returns mixed with, I don't know. When I get my next job, hopefully we can get the exemption status figured out, because that's an issue with me right now. But still, I'm like, I'm kind of getting, I mean, okay, let's face it. It's just me, okay? So I know I'm not, the days of tax refunds for me are long gone. That's over with. I haven't had a tax refund since 2017. But I mean, I could settle for not paying anything. That would be nice. Nope, no such luck. $1,100 this jackass has got to pay. I'm like, it's just me. It's just me. I'm like, go after the bigger fish. I'm just, oh well. You all right?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Hey, Paul. I hate to be competing. I'm going to leave you and check out another live stream.
Who's on?
Well, I've never subscribed. It's a new one. I just
Who's on,
subscribed to
David?
someone named George Borden.
Who?
He gets on Rachel's show a lot recently.
What's his name?
George Borden.
Well, whatever works. Because truthfully, I was going to probably be about within 5 minutes of wrapping this up anyway. Because I got to take care of some things before I go. I got to go back to work for a day tomorrow. Then I'm off for a couple more. I'm hoping to find some stuff this week in the middle of the week. So I'm glad I had you on, Dave. Subscribe to David's Vinyl Digs YouTube channel. He'll love you for it.
Thanks. Okay.
Take care, my friend. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap this up here. I don't know who that is exactly, but maybe I'll go check it out too. But I have some things I got to do first. I appreciate you guys for being on here. I love you all. I do. Let's see. What was I going to tell you? Okay, so this coming Friday will be the new Jukebox from Hell episode 4. We'll be reviewing the 1973 album Osmond's The Plan. Like I said, is there one bad apple in the album? Who knows? Well, you'll find out. You get to play Musical Detective with me on Friday morning when that gets uploaded to your systems. Other than that, I guess that's about it, unless anybody has any quick comments that they want to address. But once again, I'd like to thank everybody here in the Peanut Gallery. I want to thank David's Vinyl Digs for this nice short show. And I just want you guys to take care of yourselves, okay? Love each other, respect each other, share your musical knowledge with each other. Who knows where you'll land, you know? That's what I like to do around here. This is what Psycho's Platters is in the VC. We share the musical love here. I mean, we ain't talking kumbaya moments, for God's sake, so let's not go that excited. But we try to make things entertaining and fun, even if it's for a cheap laugh like this. Oh, who wants to watch an itchy and scratchy cartoon? Anyways, so, but, just take care of yourselves, okay? And I'll be back soon. All right, guys. Peace and love. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, always powered by coffee, each and every time. God bless Rock On, my friends. And thank you for watching.